Jeff, hi.
Hi, Gordon. How's it
How
going?
are you? It's going great. You're here. God, I know what I want to talk about. Can we talk about Overwatch League? Can we talk about Overwatch? Can we talk about, my diva main? Can we talk about, I've got things to talk about. I've got things.
Oh, there
I've
she
got
is.
things. I've
We can
got
talk
things.
about anything you want. Anything you
Okay.
want.
And there may be questions in the chat because,
Okay.
I have the privilege of getting to talk to you a little bit, but like people here maybe don't get to talk to you all the time. I see Astro Haley allegedly loves Overwatch, but Jeff's right here. I don't see any questions. I'm just saying he's right here. Like,
No,
not over
no pressure.
there,
Yeah.
right here. Let's see. Let's talk about pride. Let's talk about inclusion. So talk about with Overwatch and in the Overwatch universe, like what inclusion even means. How do you define values when you're creating a new world?
It's an awesome question. And it was so much fun with Overwatch because, previously Blizzard had worked in these fantasy universes, World of Warcraft, Diablo. We'd worked in sci-fi with StarCraft. And when it came time to make Overwatch, we really wanted to make a game that took place on planet Earth. But, what was challenging to Blizzard developers was we're used to like the excitement of a fantasy universe or a sci-fi universe. And we were looking at games that took place on planet Earth, and they were so focused on realism. And it felt like a lot of games wanted to show like sort of what would happen in the worst case scenario, dystopian, post-apocalyptic. And for us, we felt like that was very important. Like somebody needs to do that. Somebody needs to say, hey, if things get worse, this is what it's going to look like.
Sure.
But we also felt like somebody needs to do the opposite and go, hey, what's the future that we want to live in someday? And if we're supposed to make all of this cast of amazing, awesome heroes, what's super cool about each individual on the planet?
Mm-hmm.
We're all so unique and different. And if you said you're not allowed to, discount anybody, you're not allowed to make anybody smaller. You have to assume that every single person in this universe is amazing because of their unique perspective. And it was such a fun exercise.
Well, maybe paint a picture. Not everyone. I know it's hard for me to believe too, but there are some people who are not familiar with the Overwatch universe. So maybe set the stage of when it is, where it is, who's against who, or what's at stake in
You
Overwatch.
got it. So Overwatch takes place in what we always call the bright, hopeful future. So let's say that the game takes place roughly 60 years from now. So it's near future, but not so far future that you can't believe that it would actually happen someday. And the funnest part about the game is that all of the levels where where you play and all of the heroes that you play, you get to play as 32 different heroes, and they're from all over the world. They're all sorts of different countries, all sorts of different backgrounds. And everybody, the way we say it, there are groups against each other. There's a group called Overwatch, which is kind of like a collection of superheroes. And then they fight against a group called Talon, which is like a collection of villains. But really, all of these heroes are very unique and have all their own personality unto themselves. And the way we always describe it is it's a bright, hopeful future, but there's conflict, and therefore it's a future worth fighting for. Oh, I lost you, Gordon. I can't hear you.
Myself. Unmute. Sorry, I was
There
being
you
such a
go.
good listener. I'm back. No, I was just
Awesome.
asking, are there just two sides? Are there people who are on both sides? Are there people who are sort of neutral to it all? Like, once again, or is it super clear? You're this or you're that?
Well, just like human beings on Earth, it's not super clear.
Okay.
So there are some people who are, wholeheartedly part of Overwatch, or some people who are wholeheartedly part of Talon. And then there's people, everywhere in between who maybe don't associate with any of those groups. Or there's people, like I think Sombra is an interesting character where you will see her allied with Talon, but the things that she says and the things that she does, it makes you wonder how loyal is she actually to that group, and perhaps does she have other motives in mind, that are bigger and better than just Talon.
Gotcha. Talk about Moira. Moira is very popular. Tell, where does she fit into all this? Because I always feel when I play her, I've got these choices, and I feel there's got to be a lot to that.
Yeah. So with Moira, she is our Irish hero. She hails from Ireland, and she has a great personality where she basically is a scientist, but she's only focused. She's a very narcissistic scientist who's focused on her own good. She wants to learn more at the expense of others. She's willing to do experiments on others. She's interested in feeding her own intellect. And we designed a lot of her personality into her gameplay where, she has the ability to heal and do damage. And everything she does, like her one hand does her healing, her other hand does her damage. And, one of them's like looks like golden light. The other one looks like kind of evil purple poison. So she's a very complex character who sort of, walks that in-between line. But ultimately she really skews towards everybody is her experiment.
Wow. Okay. That's heavy. Wow. All right. So we have a couple questions from the crowd, and they relate. So one is a statement. It's not a question. This is Lance. Lance says, Jeff, the trans community asks for a non-binary or trans hero. That's part A. Part B, which I believe comes from Eric, is a lot of the Overwatch universe and plot is built outside the game, like comics and trailers, other media. What are some challenges of adding inclusion to the game itself for those who don't follow outside of the gameplay?
Those are both great questions / requests.
Yeah.
So our team loves making heroes. I'm doing part A first.
Sure.
We would love to have a trans or non-binary character in the game. It would be an absolute honor for us to have that in the game. What I always tell people, though, is we want to make genuine characters who are individuals first and foremost. So we're always like, rather than looking at our characters as, checking some checkbox, we want to really develop a character that feels true to a human being on the planet first and foremost. Sure. And we would be very open and honored to include somebody from the trans or non-binary community. So that's not saying that there's an immediate hero on the horizon, but that's just saying that the team loves embracing what exists on our planet and what's cool about our planet. And so we would love to make a hero like that.
I have a different related question. So you have a universe, right? There's a truth to Overwatch. Ballpark, like we're very familiar with the 32 heroes, but I guess I'm imagining that there's got to be someone's got a list of everyone who exists in the universe. And I'm just curious, when you're building a universe like this and then extracting the 32 who will be playable characters who go through that rigor, like how big is the universe? Like if we were just making plush toys of every character who ever had a line, never had a thing, like how big a universe do you make in order to then draw the 32 that you're going to bring to action playable life?
Well, we love developing characters beyond the immediate playable heroes. Mm-hmm. I would say we have a few dozen, hero candidate type of characters.
Sure.
And it's been fun over time. Like you've been a long time Overwatch fan, but it's really cool to watch. Like we will plant seeds of characters in animated shorts that we do, in comics that we make, somewhere in the game we'll make mentions. Like Doomfist is a great example. We mentioned Doomfist in that initial movie that we made. Like the original announcement for Overwatch had Doomfist Gauntlet in there. And then we kept dropping hints about Doomfist. And really we were looking from the fans, like, are you interested in this guy?
Oh, gotcha.
do you want to see him in the game? And, you know, do you want him to be in there? And we've planted so many seeds like that. Like Echo was another example. There's still some characters that people are wishing were characters. You know, we hear a lot of people ask about Junker Queen.
Oh yeah, I've heard of her. Yeah.
So we love developing characters, and we love having a whole cast of characters that aren't in the game yet. So when it comes time to make the next hero, we have a lot of options to us, both in terms of gameplay, but also who are the fans really excited about right now.
Sure. And what was the feeling like of, I guess, getting to this point of getting to 32? Like, you spent a multi-year voyage, like incrementally adding heroes, you know, in the right time, in the right place, tuning them, retuning them. What was it like for the team to get to 32? When Echo was finally out? What was that like for you as a development leader?
It was awesome. I mean, it's been a very long journey. We just hit Overwatch's 4th anniversary, which was really, really cool. But it's interesting for those of us, and there's many of us on the team who started the day we started Overwatch. It has been 7 years for me. I've been working on the game for 7 years.
Okay.
So it was a really, really cool milestone to release Echo in April, and then to celebrate the 4th anniversary. Absolutely amazing. Like the fact that we're 4 years in and anybody still cares and they like it and they play it, it just warms my heart. It's so motivating and so inspiring, and just makes me feel so good.
Tell us about Overwatch that evolved in an unexpected way. Like, you thought it was going to, I don't know, you as a leader is going to go this way, but whether it be because of tuning, player feedback, marketing, whatever, it just went in a way that surprised you.
There was a lot of interesting modes that we've added to the game over time that weren't originally there. I remember on stage at one of the BlizzCons, I had said, we're never going to add deathmatch to Overwatch.
Okay.
And, you know, lo and behold, like the fans kept asking for it, and they kept suggesting that we make it. And then that became like a challenge to the development team, you know, like, could we make a cool deathmatch? Like, how do you make a cool deathmatch in Overwatch? And so that's an example. We're constantly listening to player feedback, and we're so interested in what the players have to say and what they want to see. We've always said, like, the game was ours up until the day we announced it, and then it belonged to them. And we're really just custodians of this universe.
Well, that actually brings us to the next comment from a fan, or Pocket Fawn, which says, not so much a question, but rather a suggestion, but a way to deal with inclusion and normalization of queer characters without fans needing to follow outer lore is pronouns. Having a character referenced in the game with they, them pronouns would be so cool, period.
That is an awesome suggestion. And it's so interesting, Gordon. You know how supportive I am of LGBTQ movement.
Jeff, you're here.
Like, it's so important to me. But I have to say this, Gordon. I screw up with pronouns all the time, and I am so sorry for that. You know, like, I have these moments where I'll say the wrong thing. You know, I didn't know, this is going to sound terrible, Gordon. I didn't know until this week what the term dead naming was. Like,
a lot of people are learning. You know what? We're all learning. We learn together in our own time.
And I learned what dead naming was, and I felt absolutely horrible. I didn't have an incident or anything like that, but you know, I have addressed people with the wrong pronouns before, and I feel absolutely terrible every time I do that. And I just want people to understand that there are so many people that are supportive, that are loving, that care, that respect, and absolutely don't mean any harm when they accidentally use the wrong pronouns. Like, we want to learn, and we want to be better, and we want to be supportive and respectful. And so if people, like, you know, if they can just be patient with someone like me who occasionally gets it wrong, or just educate me the way to do it better, I am just so appreciative of that. That's important to me.
That is so cool. And I see you, Brendan. Brendan out, not Utah, probably Puerto Rico, probably back in Utah, loving the broadcast. Gosh, what I want to ask, Jeff, we're on Pride. Let's see here. Questions from the crowd. We're right here. You see, I'm looking at the chat. I mean, I can talk all day. You know what? Let's talk about Overwatch League then. We'll go there. So obviously things have changed with, people being at home and it's been sort of, reimagined. What do you hope for? What are your hopes for Overwatch League?
What I hope for Overwatch League right now is that it's such a challenging time that we're all going through for so many reasons. Like 2020, I've heard so many people say this, and I couldn't agree more, which is we all need a do-over on 2020. Yes. 2020 has been a rough year. And my hope for Overwatch League is it provides people some relief from whatever they might be dealing with. The pandemic is very stressful. A lot of people are not in a position where they have a lot that they can do to entertain themselves. They're stressed out. I know, at Blizzard, we've dealt with a number of us, friends and family, who have actually come down with COVID. And it's been pretty devastating. And so I hope, like with Overwatch League, football can't keep playing right now. Hopefully they're going to come back, and hockey can't keep playing, and hopefully they're going to come back. They're all trying, but esports is still going, and we kept it going through this. So we hope that we entertain people and gave people a break from some of the stress that they're feeling during this really, sort of overwhelming experience that I don't think anybody expected to go through in 2020.
No, absolutely not. And I'm going to already pre-invite you back to class in all its forms in the fall. I know, obviously, we hope that we're all, back together, but we heard BlizzCon. Obviously, BlizzCon was postponed, right? So how that is not encouraging, Jeff. Like, what do we need to get back together? Here. We got questions. Zirconics. What else is Overwatch? When you say Overwatch Zirconic, I guess you mean the game, or do you mean the universe? The game. Overwatch as meta. Overwatch as meta experience. The question is, Jeff, what is Overwatch doing? What actions does it take to combat homophobia and be more inclusive? So
it's a two-pronged effort. There's the positive, and then there's what I'm just going to call the enforcement. Enforcement is not the fun part. That's not what inspires us as creators, as artists, but it's necessary as community leaders. As anybody who's leading an online community, if we have any awareness of homophobia taking place, whether it's online in any of our games, not just Overwatch, but any Blizzard game, or in our wider community, it is our responsibility to action on that, swiftly and with weight. We need to go after people. We need to let people know that being homophobic or intolerant in any way really is unacceptable in our community. Now, on the flip side is the positive part, which I think is a lot of fun, and it's what inspires us. And that is, I think it is so important to you and I have had this conversation before, and the way I describe it is show what is normal as normal, but in mass media. Overwatch has over 50 million players. That's a lot of people. That's a population larger than Spain who plays Overwatch. Whether we like it or not, we are very influential. And I think the fact that we have a gay character on the cover of the box of Overwatch that 50 million people have played raises awareness, makes it a positive, reinforced thing in mass media and pop culture. And the thing that warms my heart more than anything is when I get the email. I get an email from a high school kid who says, I've really wrestled with my identity. I've wrestled with my background. And I have to tell you, when I learned that Tracer was gay, it meant so much to me. And it made me feel normal. And I think, that's the journey we're on. We've made so much progress as a society. And that's what Pride is always about to me, is the celebration of the progress we've made. Where we were, but we still have a long journey to go. And I think we're not going to get to where we want to go on that journey until we make what is normal.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm seeing in the past, we are giving away some Blizzard, so thank you for sharing with us some Blizzard codes on Discord right now in honor, wait, you know who we're honored? In honor of you. Giving away codes. Yeah, it's you're part of the fam. You're part of our first Pride, like Birds of Pride. You're here. This is awesome. Hopefully make this a tradition.
I love being here. And I want to give a shout out too. So I provided a bunch of the codes, but also Philip Hillenbrand, who is amazingly talented producer at Blizzard. It was half him, half me. So I want to give a shout out to Philip. He's one of my favorite people to work with, and we've been making movies for, I want to say, well over 10 years now together. I
know, all those cinematics that we love. That's so cool. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Philip. I don't know, Jeff. They don't see many questions. We're gonna catch up and have some breakfast. What do you want everyone to know? It's Pride weekend. They've gathered here. Some of them are gonna play some Overwatch tonight after we get out of the disco. What do you want them to know?
I want them to know that they're loved, they're respected, they're important, and everybody's welcome, everybody's included. That's what this is all about. It's about, we need to pave the way for the future, that this is the new normal.
Everybody, this is Jeff Kaplan, Blizzard Games, Overwatch, GGP Pride 2020. Jeff, thank you so much for making time for all of us. Let you get back to your evening. I'm probably gonna go get in this disco. Yes, Anthony, it is Jeff. Anthony just, hey, Anthony, I see you. Anthony, do you have a question for Jeff Kaplan? Type it right now. Type it right now, Anthony. Do not wait. Nope, don't say Jeff. That's not a question.
Hi, Anthony.
He's very excited. Anthony, he's right here. I was gonna let him go, but you got here. We're down. What do you want to know? He'd give you all the tips. Oh, Jeff, come back to WoW. Tim, my friend Tim said, come back to WoW.
I love WoW. I love working on WoW. WoW is such a wonderful, beautiful game, and they have such a talented team working on it right now. It's in good hands, trust me.
Anthony's searching. He's searching his mind. He's scanning. Anthony, you don't have a question. It's okay. We can do it another time. Everyone's saying goodbye. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, thank you all.
Oh, wait. Oh, here we go. We got two. Jeff, okay, it just says, Jeff, thank you, just thank you. That's what I got. You are a true artist in a medium that does not give enough recognition to auteurs. And we do have one more question. This is from Eric. We love Eric too. Eric's question is this. Some of the heroes got changes when the gameplay started to lock players into roles, like how Brigitte became more of a healer and lost some tank and damage abilities. Do you think any of the creativities in the teams or personality or heroes was lost by these changes?
I don't think we lost any of their personality. Like, definitely some of the heroes got changed a little bit. I think Brigitte more than anybody. I think Brigitte felt it a little bit more than Moira, but more on her gameplay and not so much on her personality. We really try to stay true to the personality of the characters. Like, they're living real people to us, and we're always going to treat them that way. And then I just want to say one more thing to Anthony. Sure. Your words are so kind, and I appreciate them so much, but I do not consider myself an auteur. I work with the most incredibly talented team, and their contributions are equal or far outweigh mine. So you recognizing me is like you recognizing my entire team, and I just really, really appreciate that.
Eric says you're awesome, and Anthony has finally found his question. Jeff, and this will be our final question. Here it goes. Jeff, and ponder this for a second. Who is your favorite LGBT, and we'll say Q plus character of all time in a medium that is not video games?
That is not video games. Well, this isn't a character, it's a real person, but I love RuPaul's Drag Race. I've watched every season, and my wife and I are like just huge RuPaul fan. Like, you know, I've gotten to meet a lot of people in my lifetime. Very fortunate I've gotten to meet so many people, and it's not a big deal. Like, fame and celebrity is not a big deal to me, but I think I would just lose it if I met RuPaul.
Goals. All right.
Someday, yeah.
Someday we have goals. Everyone as a community, we have 2021 goals. So, Jeff, thank you again for your time and your care and your thoughts and just listening and sharing and being patient and making Overwatch with the team. Yeah, we're just so thankful. That's it. Thank you for your time tonight.
I want to say thank you to you, Gordon. You're amazing. You are the leader that we all look up to. And I also want to say thank you to everybody involved with GGP for what you're doing. We love you, we respect you, and thank you.
Oh, okay, awesome. All right, we're gonna go. I'm probably actually gonna. Do I have time? Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna jump into VR and jump into this world because I want to go to Redline. So nice. I'm gonna go too. Thanks again. Thank you everybody for listening and asking all these great questions and just for being here. Hope you're having a great time too. Hope you're all meeting each other. Period. So we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna mute. Jeff's gonna go. Thank you, Jeff.
Bye, Gordon.
Bye-bye.